7 craziest and most unpopular bans in U.S. history. We're diving into some of the most mind-boggling bans ever enacted in the United States. Let's count down 7 of the craziest and most unpopular ban. We are starting with the big one, alcohol. Prohibition in the 1920s made it illegal to manufacture, sell, or transport alcohol. Far from eliminating drinking, Prohibition gave rise to speakeasies, bootlegging, and notorious crime families. The government even went to great lengths, poisoning industrial alcohol with tragic results. After 13 years of chaos, Prohibition was repealed in 1933, marking one of America's most infamous attempts at social control. Next up, pinballs. Believe it or not, cities like New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago banned pinball machines in the 1940s. Authorities claimed it was a form of gambling and that children were losing their hard-earned nickels. Some officials, including the mayor of New York, even conducted pinball raids with the police, smashing machines with sledgehammers and dumping them in the river. It wasn't until the 1970s, when pinball champions advocated that pinball was skill-based, that the bans were finally lifted, beginning in Los Angeles in 1974 and continuing as late as 2016 in Indiana. Number 3. Dancing. If you're a Footloose fan, you know where this is going. Throughout American history, several cities and institutions have banned or placed restrictions on dancing, including New York's cabaret law, which is still in effect today. The most infamous example was in Elmore, Oklahoma, which inspired the movie Footloose. Thankfully, these bans have mostly disappeared, but even today, certain towns still have restrictive dance ordinances. 4. Sagging. On a completely different note, the fashion police literally stepped in with saggy pants bans starting in 2007. South Florida City implemented fines of $500 for those caught with their pants down. Critics argued that these bans were racially motivated, disproportionately affecting certain groups and infringing on personal expression. After 13 years, the ban was finally repealed. 5. Rock and roll music. The 1950s transformed America's music scene, but not everyone loved the new sounds. The music, which was popular with teenagers, did not sit well with their parents and authorities, who feared it would corrupt the youth and promote rebellious behavior. The ban started in Santa Cruz, California, on June 3, 1956, and several cities followed suit. Interestingly, the ban only enhanced rock and roll's rebellious reputation, and the genre became a defining force in American culture. 6. Sliced bread. Yes, even sliced bread had its moment on the banned list. During World War II, the U.S. temporarily banned pre-sliced bread to conserve resources, believing it would reduce the need for special machinery and wax paper. However, the public outcry was significant, leading to the repeal of the ban just 7 weeks later. The backlash over sliced bread highlights how essential small conveniences can be. Finally, gold ownership ban, 1933 to 1974. In an effort to stabilize the economy during the Great Depression, the government prohibited private ownership of gold. People had to turn in their gold in exchange for cash, granting the government control over the nation's gold supply. This ban lasted over 40 years, finally lifted in 1974 when Americans were allowed to legally own gold again.